Hello trader, it's another beautiful day to do our top-down analysis. So if this is the first time that you have landed to this channel, my name is Anthony and I dedicate my time to help you guys on how to do the top-down analysis. That is analyzing the market from the higher time frame all the way to the lower time frame. So if this is something that you would like to learn one-on-one with me, and maybe this is the first time you have landed with this channel, you have been subscribed to the channel, so I urge you to take some few seconds of your time, click that subscription button, and also don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you get notified immediately I upload a new video. So without wasting time, let's dive into the market and see what the market has to offer. So here with us, we are going to start our top-down analysis today with our good friend here, Euro USD. That is from the higher time frame. So what are we seeing the Euro USD doing from the daily time frame? If you look closely, we can see that the Euro USD reacted from this higher time frame point of interest. If you go to the monthly time frame, you'll be able to see where the Euro USD reacted from. Looking at the monthly time frame, we can see that we have a break of structure to the downside here. We have a BOS, meaning now this is our protected high. All right, so we have this one as our protected high, or that is our high, lower high, and then we have our lower low down here. And then you know very well, if this, we want to know that this is our strong high, we need to see that did this high sweep any liquidity, and you can see very clearly that it managed to sweep this high first. So we have a sweep of that high before a push to give us a break of structure to the downside. So now picking our fib from the high to the low, we can see that this zone of ours is absolutely resting at the premium, because you know very well that if the market is bearish, you have no business of selling when the market is still at the discount. So you need to wait for a market to come to the premium, and that is where you are supposed to look for selling opportunity, because the idea of doing this is we know very well that we sell when the price is high, we buy when the price is low. Since we are looking to sell, we'll be looking to sell at the premium. All right, so any point of window that is resting below the 50% becomes a very good zone for you to look for that selling opportunity. So looking at the Euro USD, you can see that it came to react from this order block or this supply zone that is resting at the premium, which gave us a very strong rejection. And to add on that, because rejection alone is not enough for us, and basically from this channel you know very well we trade the structure. Okay, so you want to see the market giving us that confirmation. What is the confirmation that you like to see on this zone? We want to see that M formation being created after the market reacted from this supply zone. So moving on to the entry time frame, which is supposed to be your daily time frame. Once I get to the daily time frame, because you know very well, every time frame has its own structure. So once you learn to the daily time frame, you want to look analyze the market from that time frame again, right? And you can see very clearly that you have a rally, we have a pullback, then a rally which broke the structure to the upside, reacting from that supply zone. Then the market pushed down to break this previous uh, higher low. Okay, so you have the market breaking below this low. Remember, this low was supposed to be protected by the buyers, but you can see that the market closed below that low, giving us a change of character. So if I move this one to the right here, we can see very clearly that we have our hem formation. We have a break of structure to the upside. We have that break. Sorry, we have that break, which later on gave us a change of character to the downside. So this is exactly what we need to see before we start looking for any selling opportunity. Because one, we want to see the internal structure aligning with the external structure. Remember, externally, market is very bearish. So we need to see the internal, because absolutely, as the internal structure is approaching this supply zone, we are expecting to see the daily time frame being bullish. Okay, but immediately the market reacted from this key level. We can see the Euro USD giving us a change of character from the daily time frame, and that is exactly why now, after this change of character, that is our confirmation that this market is really ready to sell. So at this point of time, we repeat the same procedure. We pick the fib from the high to the low. After doing this, you mark a point of window that is resting at the premium, and you can see very clearly that you get this supply zone up there, which played out very well. Market came to that supply zone, and then we sold off to give us a new break of structure to the downside. So currently, because we are not going to trade whatever happened here, we are going to focus on what is currently happening. Okay, so looking at days one from what is currently happening? We have this break of structure to the downside. So we ask ourselves, is this high a strong high? If I look closely, I can see that this high swept this internal liquidity. We also have sweep of this high here is liquidity. So making this one to be our protected high. So once the market confirms that this is our swing low, so what do? We pick our fib, we place from the high all the way to the low. Once we do that, we want to mark the point of view that are resting within the premium and above. And you can see that this is our first key level that we had. That is from our last our analysis that we did here. We had this scale zone, key level, and we also had this key level that is resting above here. Okay, so we saw Euro USD try to give a reaction from this area, but it never gave us that confirmation to sell. That is why I'm telling you guys that seeing a rejection from the key level, it's not enough. So we need to see the market giving you that change of character, or we need to see the internal structure agreeing with the external structure before you look for any selling opportunity. If, for instance, we use this one as our example here, if I go to the 1 hour, because that is the time frame that you are supposed to go, and guys, if you don't know how to do the time frame alignment very well, so find the video on this channel. There is a video that I did on how to do the time frame alignment. Make sure to check on the video and you will understand on how you should be working with this time frame correctly. Because I believe once you mess up with this time frame, you're gonna mess up with your entry. So make sure you understand. Once I mark the key level from the daily, once I mark the key level from the weekly, which time frame am I supposed to go to wait for my confirmation? Since that is not what I'm teaching today, so make sure you go revisit the video, watch the video, and I'm telling you, you will get to understand this concept of time frame alignment or multi time frame alignment. So getting to 1 hour time frame. At this point of time, what are you expecting to see a 1 hour time frame doing? We are expecting to see 1 hour time frame being very bullish, okay? And that is exactly what we are seeing. We can see that this is the last break of structure before the market tapped to that supply zone here. So at this point of time, we were waiting for this low to be taken out, or we were waiting for a market to come down and break below this low. But unfortunately, Euro USD never came down to break below this low. Okay. But if you are trading the reaction from the daily time frame, you could have seen that rejection from the daily time frame and you think that the Euro USD going to sell. That is not enough. Okay. Rejection in alone is not enough. We need to see the internal structure agreeing with what we are seeing on the external. That is after it has reacted from a key level. So instead of Euro USD coming down to give us a change of character, it pushed a little bit again and also gave us a new break of structure to the upside. So at this point of time also, I mark this low because if the market wanted to sell from this zone, then it should have pushed down to give us a break of structure or a change of character to the downside. So again, the market never came down to give us that change of character. Instead, it kept on buying. Once I saw the daily candle closing above your kill zone, our key level, which is this supply or this order block, that is this candle, you just need, that is when you understand the market has violated this zone. And we are waiting for the next key level, which is this supply zone that is sitting up there. Okay, so currently this is what we are going to watch out for on that is this coming week. We are expecting to see Euro USD, or we are anticipating to see Euro USD coming to this supply zone, giving us a reaction from this area. And most important thing, it should giving us a confirmation around this area. Once we get that confirmation, we are going to look for selling opportunity from that area. All right, just to confirm whatever we are seeing here, let us use the DXY and see what the DXY is doing. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, looking at the DXY, we can see that this is the last break of structure to the downside. It gave us a change of character here, and now we are having a break of structure to the upside. So this is the current break of structure that we are seeing on the Euro USD. Okay. Now, if you don't know what is the correlation between the DXY and the Euro USD, this is it. All right. So whenever the DXY is bullish, we are expecting to see the dollar pairs being bearish. That is the likes of Euro USD, GBP USD, AUD USD. That is those pairs that are associated with the dollar. All right. Although there are those ones that they don't have a strong correlation, but for the likes of Euro USD and GBP USD, they have a strong correlation with the DXY. So if, for instance, the DXY is bullish, we are expecting today Euro USD is bearish. So that is why we can see now, since DXY is bullish, we have seen that the analysis on Euro USD it's bearish. Okay. Now, looking at this one, if you remember very closely, the last time we did analysis on DXY, we marked this key level. We had this key level here, and we also had this key level, which is our extreme point of interest. And then we said, because both of them, they were resting at the right place. If I measure from the high to the low, we can see that this key level is sitting at the premium, at the equilibrium. That is why you see the DXY found it difficult to break this zone because it was a very good zone. Immediately the market closed below that zone. It means that this key level has been violated. So the next target of the market is this order block or this demand zone that is sitting down here. But the most important thing is that the market has already swept these relative equal lows that we marked here that day that we analyzed this pair. Market has swept these relative equal lows. All right. So we are still anticipating to see the DXY having a deeper push to this demand zone. And if it gets to this demand zone, we are going to watch out for a change of character inside here. So once we get that change of character, that is from the 1 hour time frame, giving us a W formation. So this is what we need to see. The market pushing to this zone, then having a break of structure, a push to break this I, giving us a W formation, which will be a break to the downside, then a change of character. So once we see this one inside this zone, that is our confirmation that now this pair is really willing to buy. And that is when we'll take our buys from there. We're going to be targeting our swing high around this area. Okay, so that is the analysis that we're having on the DXY, which is agreeing with what we are absolutely seeing on Euro USD. Okay, so that's my view on the DXY as well as Euro USD. I also don't know what you are watching, what you are view, what is your view as far as this pairs is concerned. So let me see on the comment section. What do you think, or what are you having on the DXY? What are you having on the Euro USD as well as the other pairs that we are going to analyze today? All right, so that is it. I will be watching out for the Euro USD come this Monday and see what will happen. So in case I get a very good analysis, get a very good update, I'll be coming in between the week to give you the update on what has happened or on what I'm anticipating to happen. Okay. So still, if you want to learn this one-on-one with me, I do run a private mentorship, which of course now we are having a 1 week of getting our students for the September mentorship. So I only have like 5 slots remaining now. So if you want to catch these slots before the time ends, you can really find the description of this, the description to my WhatsApp on this video. Then you can leave me a text over there and I will get you now to join the mentorship. So that one having been said, we are going to move on to the next pair. Of course, it's going to be gold. We are going to analyze the metal that is gold. So looking at the gold, if you look at it from the higher time frame perspective, you can see very clearly that gold is very bullish. Okay, that one you can see very clearly that we are very bullish. Now, looking at the last dealing range, the last formed dealing range, we can see we have this break of structure. Okay, this is the last break of structure to the upside that we are able to spot on gold. Why is it this? Someone might be saying, why is it that it's not this one? Someone might look at this and say, we have a break of structure here to the upside. No, this one ain't a break of structure to me because we have our rules that we normally follow before we qualify this pullback to be a valid pullback. If you look closely, this pullback does not qualify to be a valid pullback. Okay, so if you have been following me for a while, you know why this pullback is not valid. Okay, now this becomes a fractal to me. So the last break of structure or the last valid break of structure happened here, meaning now this break of structure that we are seeing here, it's an internal of swing. Okay, so the next question I should ask myself is that, is this low a strong low? Of course it's a strong low because you can see this low swept this fractal low before pushing to give me a break of structure. And then we saw the gold coming to react from this support zone down here. So gold came to react from this key level down there and immediately it reacted from there. It has given us a change of character now because this is our last break of structure. And then we have a change of character to the upside. Okay. So once you see this, what else are you waiting for, guys? So we're looking for a pullback and then a continuation. All right. But since now the market is very bullish, where are we expecting to see this reaction from? Because if I look at it from internally, looking at the internal structure, we can see that this was the last fractal break of structure to the upside, or the last break of structure to the upside, that is the fractal, or internally, which led to this change of character. So after that change of character, gold gave us another break of structure here to the downside. So in terms of daily time frame, this is where we have a daily internal break of structure to the downside. So looking at this first pullback that we saw here, that pullback never came to the 50% of our dealing range. If we measure like this, we can see that the market reacted just from the discount zone, pushed down to give us a break. So if I have to mark my dealing range, I'll mark it up to that low. Okay, so in terms of internal of our daily, we are coming from this high all the way to this low. So if I have to mark my key levels, I have this key level here that is resting here, and I also have this key level that is sitting at the extreme up there. Okay, so from the last time that we did this analysis, we were expecting to see reaction from this area, and the gold tried to give a reaction from that area. Okay, but eventually it came up and broke above. Immediately I saw the gold closing above there. Then that one confirms to me that the gold has violated this key level. So I remove it. And the next key level that I can see, it is this supply zone that is sitting up here. So, and also guys, I need to mention this. Since market has reacted from this key level, that is externally, we have the market reacting from this key level, and it has given us a change of character to the upside. So this is not a key level that I'm expecting, or I'm anticipating to take a swing trade from there, targeting this low, or for a market to give me a break or so to the downside. So this, I'll just expecting to see a reaction from there, just to facilitate the pullback of this internal, because you have the internal break of structure, and then you have an internal change of character. So from this level, I'll be anticipating to see a reaction from here, of course, with the confirmation that the market is going to give us here, just to facilitate the pullback of this internal change of character, or this internal dealing range, for a market to come to an area that is sitting at the discount, because I can see we have this very nice demand zone that is resting here. All right. Assuming now the market will start reversing from that level, or maybe we assume the market reverses from somewhere here. This will be our dealing range from that high all the way to this low. So we will be anticipating for a market to come at least with the 50%. And maybe, assuming now this will be our high, we can see we have this zone that is sitting here. Okay, we have that order block there. And then we have this demand zone that is sitting at the extreme. So also we need to be very patient with the market. Let's see what the market will do once it opens on this Monday. And we'll be watching out to see what the gold will be doing. And inside this supply zone, which we are anticipating for it to give that pullback to this area. In case the market closes above there, then that means this skill zone will have failed. And then once the gold will break above this high, guys, you see this one. Once we see the gold breaking above this high, just know automatically this will be the next target of the gold. We'll be expecting to see gold at some point of time giving us a new all-time high to the upside. All right. So this is the only high that will determine whether the gold will be coming to break this ice. Once we break this high, or in other words, once we close above this skill zone, because this is the last point the market should react from to give us that sell movement, maybe to come and take out this low. But immediately we'll see the daily candle closing above here. Just be aware that the next target of the market will be this high. It will be coming to break this high, and once we break this high, next target will be this high and also this high. But since the market has not yet reached to those areas, let's watch out on what will happen around where we are now, which is this supply zone and also this demand zone here. But since we are very close to this, let's see what will happen here. If you get that 1 hour confirmation around this area, don't target that much. If the market can give you a short-term sell, 1:3, 1:2, just get it, because that one will be a very risky trade. All right. Since now we have seen that the market is respecting this support zone here, and it has already given us a change of character, showing us a bullish market movement. Okay, so that is it on gold. I also don't know what you think about this. Let me know in the comment section. So moving on to the next pair, our good friend also is gonna be BTC USD. Right. So now for a while, I've not been looking at the BTC. We have not been analyzing the BTC from the higher time frame perspective view. I want us to go as much as monthly time frame, and let's break down the BTC together. Okay, looking at the monthly time frame from BTC perspective, you know very well how we mark our break of structure and change of character and stuff like that. So the first question I will always must ask myself, what is the current bias of this market? Because that is why the main reason why we go to the higher time frame, for us to get the bias of the market. So if I have to look at the last break of structure, I can see that this is where I have the last break of structure here. I have my break of structure there to the upside, because this movement to the downside here, this pullback, it does not qualify to be a valid pullback for me. I cannot see three candlestick rule here being fulfilled here. Also here, I only have two candlesticks, so I cannot call this one a break of structure. So this break and this break, they are going to be my internal structure. So the last strong break of structure happened here. So the next question I will ask myself, is this one a strong break of structure? Of course, it's a strong break of structure, because you can see that this low swept this liquidity first. We have the sweep of this sell side liquidity before the market pushed up to give us this break of structure. So it's at this point of time, immediately the BTC confirmed that this is our high. How do we confirm that this is our high? That is by market giving us an internal change of character, because this is our internal break of structure which led to this internal change of character. Immediately we see this. This is our confirmation that this is our swing high. So now in terms of our dealing range, we are coming all the way from that high all the way to this low. We can see, of course, that the BTC has traded to the discount area, reacting from this demand zone, which is our flip zone around that area, or reacting from this order block around that area. We know how we mark our order blocks. The last sell before the buy movement. So we are currently reacting from that area. All right. And then you can see another demand zone down here. Okay. But this one, you are going to leave it pending. Okay. So now we can remove our fib. Now, since the BTC is currently reacting from this area, what are we waiting to see, guys? Okay, we are waiting to see an internal change of character. We want to see the internal structure agreeing with the external structure, or in other words, we want to see the internal structure aligning with the external structure. So which time frame are we supposed to go to? If you have said daily time frame, then that means you are correct. So when you get to the daily time frame, we need to see, because we are expecting to see daily time frame being bearish. And if you look closely, we can see that at this point of time, daily time frame is very bearish. So if I look closely, this is my last break of structure to the downside from the daily time frame. We have that break of structure to the downside. So now, what confirmation are we expecting to see? If this BTC is going to break above here, guys, if you will see the BTC breaking above here, that will be our confirmation that the market is respecting this demand zone and the market will be willing to buy. Okay. And judging from the kind of movement that we are getting, this strong momentum that we are getting, we might be expecting to see BTC coming to take out this high. Once we break above here, that will be our change of character. So what will we be waiting for? We wait for a pullback for an area that is resting to the discount or at the discount. Then we look for a buying opportunity from there, and we'll be targeting our new high. And all these highs here that we are seeing the market left here will become liquidity. We'll be anticipating to see BTC giving us an autumn high to the upside. So if you're wondering why is the BTC looking to buy from like this, then now you have your answer. We are reacting from this demand zone from the higher time frame. That is why we are seeing the BTC giving us this strong momentum to the upside. But remember, we said reaction alone is not enough. We need to see the structure agreeing with that reaction that we are seeing. That is, we need to see a W formation from this area before you look for any buying opportunity. Because as at now, the market is bearish because of this last internal break of structure. Okay. So in case you want to trade this one, what are we having? We can see we have this supply zone that is resting above here. Okay, we have that last buy candle before the sell movement, which of course you have a small or tiny fair value gap there. market has already tapped to that zone. We have already tapped to that kill zone there. So if this pair wants to sell, then that is the last place that it will need to sell from. So what will we be waiting for to see here? So if you want to sell on BTC, because currently it's showing us the rejection from that area, we need to see the 4-hour giving us a change of character. If you don't see the 4-hour creating a structure around that area, then don't look for any selling opportunity. So what do you need to see the 4-hour giving you here? We need to see the 4-hour giving you an M formation, a break of structure, then a change of character. Once you see a change of character from the 4-hour time frame around this area, then look for that selling opportunity. But in case the daily candle closes above here, guys, don't look for any selling opportunity unless you will be looking for a counter trend just to facilitate the pullback, and then you continue going up, which is very risky also, and I don't advise you to be looking for counter trends if of course you haven't mastered the market structure correctly. Okay, because always make sure to make the trend your friend. All right, so that is it on BTC. But I will be more interesting if the BTC will break above this eye. Because once it break above that eye, it will have confirmed to me now that this demand zone is strong enough and it should be pushing the market to come all the way and take out that eye. So we'll be looking for those buy movement. That is, of course, by waiting for the pullback first. Then we look for buying opportunity to the upside. Okay. So that is it on BTC USD. Next pair is going to be NAS 100. What are we seeing on the NAS 100? Okay. So from the higher time frame, let's look at what the weekly time frame is doing. So looking at the weekly time frame, we can see that the NAS 100 is very bullish. That one is, you can really see that we are very bullish. Okay. So for me, I'm seeing this resistance zone here, which of course at some point of time I'm anticipating to see this key level being used as our support zone, because you see we had a resistant market broke above. So we are waiting for a market to come at least to this area to show us a retest from this level, which we anticipate this level should push this market to the upside. Okay, so whatever we are seeing here is just a pullback, and then we continue going up. So if I measure from the high to the low, let's see whether we can see that, of course, this pullback also never came to the 50%. That is why we are looking for those selling opportunity from that area, from this area, at least to push the market to come at least to the 50% of our dealing range before we look for any buying opportunity to the upside. Because ideally, we can see that the last break of structure happened here. This is where we can see the last bullish break of structure. Is it a strong one? Of course, you can see it coming down to sweep this liquidity below here. We also have another low here being swept before the market pushes up to give us a break of structure, meaning this is a very strong break of structure. All right. So that is why we are looking for that selling opportunities around this area. Now moving down to the lower time frame, we have the daily time frame. So looking at the daily time frame, this is our last break, because remember we have said every time frame has its own story. So you don't expect the structure that we are seeing on the weekly looking the same thing as what we are seeing on the daily time frame. Okay, so looking at the daily, the last break of structure happened here, which swept this low, meaning this was a very strong low, but market pushed down to give us a break or a change of character. And after that, we saw NAS 100 coming to the supply, push down to give us a break of structure. So at this point of time, this is our current break of structure. This pair had a pullback which reacted from this zone here, which is visible on 4-hour. When you get the 4-hour, you can see that this is our break of structure, meaning this is our very protected eye, a very strong eye, of course. Why is it strong? Because you can see it sweeping this liquidity. We also have it sweeping some internal liquidity up here before pushing down to give us a break of structure to the downside. So we reacted from this supply zone, and immediately we reacted from this supply zone. What are we seeing? If I go to the 1 hour, we can see that from the 1 hour time frame, this is our last break of structure inside this supply zone, which later on market pushed down to give us a change of character. Remember, this was a very strong low. Why is it strong? Because it swept this internal relative equal lows as liquidity before a push to give us a break. So seeing the market giving this change of character, that is a very strong confirmation, that this market is respecting this supply zone. So for the last week, I was anticipating to see the NAS 100 giving me that pullback at least to this breaker block around this area, because you remember very well, when a demand or supply zone fails, it becomes a breaker block. And see, this is our demand zone, and the market broke it by closing below it, making it to be our breaker block. So I was anticipating to see NAS 100 coming to this area, and then I take my sell opportunity from here. Stop loss above this eye, because I'm not at this point of time. I'm not sure how deep this pullback will come to, but I didn't expect it to come at least above this eye. That is why I put my stop loss. I wanted to put my stop loss around that area, but unfortunately we never got that pullback to that area, so we kept on buying. We kept on selling to the downside. So as at now, if I look at it from the perspective of the 4 hour, I will ask myself, what is the last break of structure from the 4 hour? And looking at the 4 hour, the last break of structure happened here. That is internally. Okay. So if you wanted to get a very good confirmation that this market is really going to sell, then we need to see this market closing below here. So when this market opens and this candle closes here from the 4 hour, that is our confirmation that the internal of the 4 hour is aligning with the swing of the 4 hour. And now, after we get that, that will all be a strong confirmation that the next target where the market will be coming, it will be this low. Okay, so this is the only thing that we are waiting to confirm to us, that this market is really going to sell, and this supply zone is strong enough to push this market all the way down to come and take out this low. So once we break below this low, that will mean that, let me remove this cell there. Also, let me delete everything here. Once we get that, let's see, from the 4 hour, this will be our zone, or we can mark the whole of this candle, which was our breaker block from the 1 hour. So this zone, all of that one will be our supply zone. So what we'll be looking for, we'll be waiting for a market to come for a pullback. That is after, if this candle will close below here from the 4 hour time frame. So we wait for a pullback to the 50% of this dealing range. And that means we'll be waiting for a market to come to this kill zone. And also we have multiple fair value gaps below there. Okay, so as long as this market taps to the 50% and gives us a 15 minutes confirmation, we'll be looking to that for that selling opportunity. Then we target our new lower lows, the new lower low that will be formed, and also we can target the next low, which is this low. Okay, so that is my view on NAS 100. I also don't know what you think about this. Let me know on the comment section. And the last pair we're going to be analyzing today is AUD USD. So I'm going to start AUD USD from the daily time frame. So what are we seeing the AUD USD doing on the daily time frame? Looking at the daily time frame, we can see that the daily time frame is very bullish. Why is that? Because I can see this is my last break of structure to the upside. I have that BOS. So the next question I will ask myself, is this low a strong low? This low here. Of course, this is our very strong low. This is our protected low. Why is that? Because you can see it sweeping this internal liquidity. We have a sweep of liquidity before market coming to break the high. And of course, we can see the pair came to react from this demand zone down there. The last sell candle before the buy movement, that becomes our order block. We reacted from there. And the most important thing, we are seeing an internal change of character. If you look closely, this is our break of structure. And then we have our change of character to the upside. So once we get to see this, that is our confirmation that we are now, the internal structure is agreeing with the external structure. All right. So if I have this one as my dealing range, the 4 hour dealing range, what do I anticipate to see? Actually, immediately I saw this 4 hour change of character here. I was anticipating to see a pullback before continuation. Where do I expect this pullback to? At least to this zone. But since the internal has not given us a confirmation that we are ready to sell, because looking at the internal, we are still very bearish, very bullish, sorry. This where we have the last internal break of structure to the upside. So market has not yet shown us intention of pullback. Okay. How do we know that the pullback has begun? That is when the internal structure gives us a change of character. But as at this point, the internal is very bullish, guys. The internal is very bullish. And trust me, when this market will start coming for a pullback, all these structures that we are seeing here, all these lows that we are seeing here, we are expecting to see these lows being liquidity. Okay. But as at this point, we have this break of structure to the upside. So let's see from the daily whether we can have a zone that we expect to see a reaction. Of course, we have this supply zone whereby we are currently reacting from. Market is currently inside this supply zone. So maybe this zone might push this market a little bit down, at least to this demand zone, and then we continue going up. If this one fails, we still have this one up here. Also, we have these areas here. But I'm not marking these levels here, guys, for you to start looking for that short-term sales. Okay, remember these are counter trends. Whatever we are going to get around these areas, this supply zone, is just a counter trend, guys. The best entries or the best trade that you can take is a buy. Why is that? Because the market is very bullish. Looking at the externally, this is our external break of structure. So these zones, we are likely hoping to see reaction from here just to facilitate the pullback, and then we continue going up. So internally, we have this zone here to watch out for. We have this zone here to watch out for. And this is not an area that I'm expecting you to look for an aggressive entry. Okay. Using this one as your liquidity, anticipating to see market coming to use this one as liquidity, react from this demand or maybe this fair value gap. As long as the market has swept this liquidity, now we are good to go as long as we have a 15 minutes confirmation to continue buying. But once we see this break to the downside, a break of this low, once we see a break of this low, we'll be waiting to see what the market will do around this area. Okay, so we'll facilitate on that pullback, targeting this demand zone. Once we get to this demand zone, we're going to be exiting our sales and wait to see what the market will do within this area. Because of this internal change of character, market will be coming to this area, and then we might see a very good reaction from this area, of course with confirmation. Once we get a buy confirmation, then we'll be taking our buys there with confidence, targeting the new higher high that the market would have created here. Okay, so that is it on AUD USD. I'm having highs on this demand just to continue with this buy movement. If this demand fails, we look for that selling opportunity to target this demand, because this one I will be expecting to see these lows here acting as liquidity. So guys, again, a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, kindly I urge you to make sure to subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to turn on the notification bell. For those who are looking to join my private mentorship, as I've said, this coming week will be the last week that we are taking the September students. Once you miss out that, you'll have to wait for October slot. So otherwise, guys, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for watching this video up to this end. I'm really grateful, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next one. So thank you. I wish you a happy week.